High blood pressure. It's a huge health issue, right? But what if I told you that you don't need some pricey gym membership to get a handle on it? That's what we're diving into today. We're going to walk through 8 super simple, really effective exercises you can start doing like right now to bring those numbers down naturally.
And just to put this into perspective, we're talking about a massive issue. Nearly half of all Americans have high blood pressure. That number is just staggering, and it's why it's a leading cause of death. So yeah, this is serious stuff.
And this is the important part. Here's the good news. The problem is serious, for sure. But the solution? It can be simple. It can even be free. So that's our mission here. To break down some really effective, totally low-cost ways to get those numbers down using the power of good old-fashioned movement. All right, first step, let's get into the foundation of heart health. Cardio. These are the exercises that really get your heart pumping, boost your circulation, and basically give your most important muscle a great workout.
And we're kicking things off with maybe the most accessible exercise on the planet, brisk walking. It's super gentle, it's low impact. It's pretty much perfect for anyone, whether you're just starting out or you've been active for years. So how do you know if you're going fast enough? Well, I love this simple rule of thumb from clinical exercise physiologist Karen Owak. You should be able to talk, but you shouldn't be able to sing. Simple, right? If you can still hold a conversation, you're in that sweet spot. But if you can belt out your favorite tune, you probably need to pick up the pace a little. The real magic here is consistency. According to cardiologist Dr. Jeffrey Lander, the goal is about 30 minutes a day on most days of the week. That simple habit does wonders for your circulation and helps dial back those stress hormones that can really push your blood pressure up. Okay, sticking with that low-impact theme, let's talk about another fantastic option, cycling. And it doesn't matter if you're on a stationary bike at home or riding outside in a park. Either way, it's incredibly kind to your joints.
And the game plan is pretty similar here. You want to aim for a nice steady pace for about 30 minutes, maybe 3 to 5 times a week. Doing this really helps strengthen your heart muscle and just makes your whole circulatory system work a lot more efficiently. Okay, so what if you want a full-body workout that puts zero stress on your joints? Well, that's where swimming comes in. It's amazing. The water pressure itself actually helps your circulation, which makes it an absolutely fantastic choice, especially for older adults. And hey, you don't have to be Michael Phelps here. Just start out with some slow laps, or maybe try a water aerobics class. You'd be surprised what a difference just 30 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week can make. It's a game changer. So walking, cycling, swimming, those are all great when you can get outside. But what about those rainy days, or when you're just stuck indoors? Does that mean you just skip your workout? No way. Let me introduce you to the humble step up. Seriously, all you need is a single stair or any sturdy platform. This one simple move strengthens your legs and actually trains your heart to pump more efficiently with every single beat. And it is so easy to get started. Just begin with 3 minutes of continuous stepping. And you can use that same talk test we mentioned earlier to check your intensity. If you're worried about balance, no problem. Just hold onto a railing or even place a hand on the wall. All right, next up, we have a real powerhouse technique that you can do right in your living room. It's called interval training. The whole idea is short bursts of higher effort followed by a recovery period. And get this, you can do it just by marching in place. So here's the formula. It's super simple. Go for 1 minute of faster marching, then 2 minutes of a slower recovery pace. Just repeat that pattern 5 or 6 times. We're only talking about 15 minutes a few times a week, and it makes your heart so much stronger and more resilient without you having to go all out for a long time. Okay, so we've covered cardio pretty well. Now, let's shift gears a bit. The next group of exercises is all about building strength, and this is just as crucial, finding some calm to reduce the stress that can make blood pressure go through the roof. When you hear resistance training, you might just think about building big muscles, right? But it's so much more than that. It actually improves your metabolism and can help make your arteries less stiff over time, which is a direct win for your blood pressure. And again, you don't need to be a powerlifter here. You can just use some light dumbbells, resistance bands, or even your own body weight. Things like squats, bicep curls, or wall push-ups are perfect. The trick is to do it 2 or 3 times a week, but make sure they're not back-to-back days. Your body needs that rest. Okay, let's talk about stress, because it is a huge driver of high blood pressure. And one of the absolute best tools for tackling stress is yoga. It's this amazing combination of gentle movement, stretching, and deep, focused breathing. And you don't have to be able to twist yourself into a pretzel to get the benefits. Just focus on simple, really helpful poses like child's pose or cat-cow. Research actually shows that a consistent practice, we're talking 20 to 30 minutes a few times a week, can make a real measurable dent in both of your blood pressure numbers. Now, here's an exercise you can do literally anywhere, anytime. Stuck in traffic? In a stressful meeting? No problem. It's called the 4-7-8 breathing technique, and it is shockingly powerful, especially for folks who might have limited mobility. So, you might be wondering, how does just breathing do all that? Well, it's pretty cool science, actually. When you do deep, controlled breathing like this, it stimulates something called the vagus nerve. That stimulation releases a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, which is basically the body's own natural tranquilizer. It just calms your whole system down and helps lower your blood pressure. Let's walk through it. It's simple. First, breathe out completely through your mouth. Okay, now close your lips and inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4. Now hold that breath for a count of 7. And finally, exhale completely through your mouth, making a whoosh sound for a count of 8. That's 1 breath. Just repeat that for 4 cycles, twice a day. That's it. Now, it's super important to remember that exercise, as amazing as it is just one piece of the puzzle. To really see the best results, you've got to think of this as part of a bigger, more holistic approach to your health. And that means focusing on all the other fundamentals, right? Like getting 7 to 8 hours of good quality sleep, actively finding ways to manage stress, maybe through meditation or just spending time in nature. And of course, paying close attention to your diet, especially limiting salt and focusing on whole foods. And speaking of diet, it can make a huge difference. Just look at the DASH diet. That stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. It's all about fruits, veggies, and low-fat dairy. And the results? They really do speak for themselves. The data shows this way of eating can lower your systolic number, that's the top one, by an average of 6 to 7 points, and the bottom number can drop by 3 to 4 points. That's a really powerful impact. Whew, okay, we've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From cardio and breathing all the way to diet. It can feel like a lot. So the big question is, where do you even begin? And how do you make these new habits actually stick? Okay, if you remember one thing from all this, let it be this. Don't try to do everything at once. Please, just start with one new habit. Maybe that's a 50-minute walk every day, because consistency is so much more important than intensity, especially when you're just getting started. And above all, listen to your body. It'll tell you what it needs. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a simple question to think about. After hearing about all these different options, from a simple walk to a quiet breathing exercise, what's going to be your first step?